From the Dinar Daily, we bring you a truly historic and deeply awaited financial update. Today, on the first day of 2025, a new chapter begins for Iraq as the long-anticipated redemption centers for the Iraqi dinar have officially been activated. This isn't just a simple policy adjustment. It's a profound declaration of Iraq's newfound economic sovereignty and a clear signal that the nation is ready to engage with the global financial community on its own terms. The speculation and careful analysis that have surrounded the dinar for years are now giving way to a tangible operational process. This marks a pivotal moment, not only for the millions of dinar holders worldwide but also for Iraq's place in the Middle Eastern and international financial order. The opening of these redemption centers is the physical manifestation of years of preparation and strategic planning. These are not your typical bank branches but are instead highly specialized facilities, designed to handle large-scale currency exchanges with an emphasis on security and transparency. Equipped with advanced technology for authenticating dinar notes, these centers are designed to thwart counterfeiting, a persistent problem in the past. Staff members have been professionally trained to manage a high volume of transactions while adhering to strict security protocols, ensuring both the safety of the currency and the legitimacy of each exchange. Community analysts, including a well-regarded voice like Frank26, have confirmed that these centers are now fully operational, demonstrating that Iraq's financial authorities were prepared for the significant demand from both domestic and international currency holders. The operational details of these centers are also designed for efficiency and accessibility. To accommodate the expected heavy public interest, the centers have varying operating hours across different regions of Iraq, reflecting the country's diverse geography and local rhythms. Many are extending their availability well into the evenings and on weekends during the initial launch period, a clear sign that the authorities are committed to making this transition as smooth as possible for everyone involved. This strategic approach highlights a broader institutional confidence within Iraq, showing the world that the nation is not only capable of launching a major reform but also of managing it effectively at a national scale. It is a powerful message of stability that could attract investment far beyond the country's borders. At the heart of this comprehensive reform lies the economic vision of Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani. His tenure has been defined by a commitment to break away from the outdated and often corrupt systems that have historically plagued Iraq's financial sector. A key element of his agenda was the elimination of the controversial dollar auction system, a practice that allowed for currency manipulation and undermined Iraq's monetary independence for years. In its place, his government has introduced a more transparent currency window to monitor and track foreign exchange transactions, bringing them in line with international standards and ensuring accountability. The establishment of these new redemption centers is a direct and logical extension of this forward-thinking strategy. For Prime Minister Sudani, the ability to offer a secure and reliable currency exchange mechanism is more than a technical detail. It's a political and economic statement. It is a bold move to restore faith in the Iraqi dinar, reduce the nation's historical reliance on the US dollar, and build a foundation for greater economic diversification. Beyond currency reform, his broader vision encompasses attracting significant foreign direct investment, modernizing crucial infrastructure such as energy and telecommunications, and expanding Iraq's digital banking systems. Each of these initiatives is designed to transform Iraq from a vulnerable, oil-dependent economy into a robust and reliable partner in the global marketplace. By linking the activation of redemption centers to these long-term objectives, Sudani is demonstrating that Iraq is proactively shaping its future rather than simply reacting to past pressures. For those looking to understand the practicalities of this new process, the redemption centers have a clear and systematic operational model. The first step involves a rigorous currency verification process, where advanced scanning systems are used to authenticate dinar notes. This is a crucial step to identify and remove any counterfeit bills from circulation, a long-standing issue for the currency. Once the authenticity of the notes is confirmed, customers must then proceed with a documentation check. This requires presenting valid identification, such as a national ID card, passport, or official residency document. For larger transactions, there is an additional layer of security as proof of the source of the funds may be requested, which is consistent with global anti-money laundering and counterterrorism financing standards that Iraq is now adhering to. After the verification and documentation are complete, the individual is presented with the applicable exchange rate. While the exact figure is still being withheld for strategic reasons, it is widely anticipated to be a reflection of Iraq's newfound economic alignment and credibility. The new rate is expected to be increasingly tied to external benchmarks and international agreements, moving away from a system of internal controls that often distorted the dinar's true value. Once the rate is confirmed, the transaction can be finalized. Customers have the flexibility of a direct deposit into a bank account, which is the preferred option for security, or they can choose a cash payout for physical liquidity. This entire process is overseen by trained professionals who are there to ensure a seamless and trustworthy exchange, ultimately aiming to integrate Iraqi citizens into a modern and efficient financial framework. The most eagerly awaited piece of information has been the new exchange rate for the Iraqi dinar. Although an official figure has not yet been announced, speculation from various community commentators and financial analysts is running high. The general consensus is that the new rate will be a strong reflection of Iraq's improved economic independence and its rising credibility on the global stage. This marks a departure from the past, where the exchange rate was often distorted by the controversial dollar auction system, which benefited a select few. With that system now gone and replaced by the transparent currency window, the dinar's value is expected to be determined by real economic fundamentals, such as the country's significant oil revenues, its robust foreign reserves, and its overall trade balance. Financial reports and expert observations suggest that these reforms have already boosted confidence among international observers. There is a sense of cautious optimism among dinar holders, both in Iraq and abroad, who have been waiting patiently for this moment. Many hope for a rate that not only validates their long-term patience but also serves as a strong signal of Iraq's full-fledged entry into a more stable economic era. However, experts in the field have cautioned that this transition may involve some volatility, and the initial figures may adjust as the market finds its new equilibrium. Despite this potential for fluctuation, the prevailing expectation is that the dinar will soon possess a stronger international value that truly reflects Iraq's vast resource wealth and the significant progress it has made in its governance and financial management. The activation of these economic reforms has not gone unnoticed by international investors, who are now showing increased interest in Iraq as a market on the brink of a major transformation. The country's unique combination of immense natural resources, particularly its abundant oil reserves, and its ambitious plans for infrastructure development make it a highly attractive destination for foreign capital. The strengthening of the dinar, along with the stabilization of currency policy, through the new redemption centers and plans for redenomination, sends a powerful message to outside investors that Iraq is serious about creating a modern, rules-based financial environment. Sectors like construction, telecommunications, banking, and agriculture are already seeing an increase in inquiries from multinational firms seeking to explore new opportunities in the region. Analysts believe this growing interest could lead to billions of dollars in foreign direct investment, which would not only accelerate GDP growth but also fund long-delayed projects, such as the modernization of the national power grid, the development of new highways, and the expansion of key ports. For Iraq, this influx of international capital is far more than a financial boost. It is a chance to diversify its economy away from an over-reliance on oil and to build sustainable, long-term industries. It also brings the potential for knowledge transfer, technological expertise, and the creation of much-needed jobs for the country's young and dynamic population. While investors are watching closely for continued transparency and a commitment to the rule of law, the establishment of the redemption centers marks a clear turning point. positioning Iraq as a promising new frontier for global investment. Within Iraq itself, the public's reaction to the new redemption centers and the broader financial reform program is a complex mix of excitement and legitimate concern. Many citizens are genuinely hopeful about the potential to exchange their dinar at a more favorable rate, which would directly improve their purchasing power and restore confidence in their national currency after years of instability. The idea of a stronger dinar carries a great deal of symbolic importance, signifying a return to stability and prosperity. However, questions are also being raised, particularly regarding the fate of smaller denominations like the 250 and 500 dinar notes. Small business owners are especially keen to understand how day-to-day transactions will be affected, and whether these smaller bills will be phased out during the redenomination process. The Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, has acknowledged these public concerns and has initiated a comprehensive educational campaign to address them. This campaign includes public information sessions, media announcements, and close cooperation with local banks to ensure a consistent and clear message. The CBI is working to explain the mechanics of redenomination and the safeguards being put in place to protect ordinary citizens, especially those who may not be as familiar with financial reforms. This shows that the authorities recognize that the success of these reforms depends not only on their technical implementation but also on earning the trust of the public. The ultimate test for many Iraqis will be whether the new system is reliable in their daily lives and whether it truly improves their economic well-being without leaving vulnerable groups behind. A fundamental part of Iraq's reform strategy is the redenomination of its currency, a process designed to simplify transactions and restore confidence by removing excess zeros from banknotes. Under the existing system, the currency includes notes with large denominations, such as the 250,000 dinar note, a legacy of years of high inflation. Redenomination proposes to convert this into a more manageable 25 dinar note while preserving its exact purchasing power. This means a product that currently costs 250,000 dinars would, after redenomination, simply cost 25 dinars. The value remains the same, but the currency becomes much more practical and user-friendly for commerce. This type of monetary reform has been successfully implemented by other countries such as Turkey and Brazil, which also sought to move beyond periods of high inflation. In Iraq's case, the redenomination will be introduced in a carefully managed, phased-in approach. New, smaller denominations such as 1, 5, 10, 20, and 50 dinar notes are expected to be gradually introduced into circulation. The CBI has emphasized that both the old and new notes may temporarily circulate side by side during this transition period to avoid confusion and minimize disruption. While critics have warned of potential short-term challenges as individuals and businesses adapt to the new pricing systems, supporters of the reform argue that redenomination is a critical step toward modernizing Iraq's economy. It aligns the currency with international norms, makes transactions more efficient, and sends a powerful signal that the country is moving beyond its inflationary past and building a foundation for a more stable and prosperous future. While these reforms are focused on domestic stability, their implications extend far beyond Iraq's borders. As one of the world's leading oil producers, Iraq's economic health has a direct influence on global energy markets, which in turn can affect worldwide inflation and growth. The strengthening of the dinar, supported by the new redemption centers and redenomination plans, signals to global markets that Iraq is ready to operate as an equal partner. For foreign holders of dinars, these reforms present a significant opportunity to exchange their currency at potentially favorable rates, though experts remind them that currency values can be volatile during major transitions. Beyond individual investors, major financial institutions and sovereign wealth funds are also closely watching, as Iraq's reforms could reshape regional trade and investment flows. A stronger dinar could also contribute to the broader global trend of de-dollarization, reducing Iraq's dependency on the US dollar and setting an example for other nations with similar economic profiles. If Iraq successfully navigates this transition, its success could serve as a model for other resource-rich but financially unstable countries seeking to implement similar reforms. International bodies such as the IMF and the World Bank are likely to monitor Iraq's implementation closely, offering guidance and technical support as needed. The global community understands that Iraq's success in monetary reform will have significant ripple effects, not only on financial markets but also on regional security and development. In this context, Iraq's financial reforms are more than a national project. They are a test case in effective global economic governance for individuals who hold Iraqi dinars, whether they are in the country or abroad. The key question now is how to prepare for this new redemption process. The most important step is to remain informed and to rely only on verified information from official sources, such as the Central Bank of Iraq, to avoid the widespread speculation and misinformation that often circulate online. Dinar holders should also ensure that all of their necessary documentation is in order. Valid identification, be it a national ID card, passport, or residence permit, will be required at the redemption centers, and for larger transactions, proof of the currency source may be requested. Preparing this paperwork in advance will help to prevent any unnecessary delays. Additionally, individuals should be aware of the specific locations and operating hours of the redemption centers, as they may vary by region and are expected to be very busy during the initial weeks of the launch. Understanding the new exchange rate is also a critical step, and while the final figure remains undisclosed, staying informed about expected ranges will allow dinar holders to make strategic decisions about when and how to redeem their currency to best align with their personal financial goals. For those outside of Iraq, it will be wise to monitor international banking partners that may facilitate exchanges once the reforms are fully in place. Ultimately, a well-informed and prepared approach will be the key to navigating this historic transition smoothly and successfully. The official activation of redemption centers on this first day of 2025 marks a pivotal moment in Iraq's journey toward economic renewal. For decades, the nation has grappled with instability, conflict, and policies that eroded confidence in its currency. Now, by introducing transparent redemption mechanisms, pursuing redenomination, and actively working to strengthen the dinar's position, Iraq is signaling a deep and unwavering commitment to stability and financial sovereignty. This process will not be without its challenges. The road ahead will require ongoing public education and careful management of global markets. However, the potential benefits are immense. These reforms could lead to a modernized currency system, a restoration of trust among the Iraqi people, and a significant increase in foreign investment. This will ultimately result in a more stable and influential role for Iraq in global economic affairs. For dinar holders around the world, this moment represents the long-awaited culmination of years of waiting and offers a concrete opportunity to be part of Iraq's recovery. For Iraq itself, this is about more than just economics. It is a moment of national pride, a chance to reclaim a place of dignity and leadership in the region. As these reforms continue to unfold, the world will be watching closely as what happens in Iraq's financial system in the coming months could set a powerful precedent for other nations facing similar challenges. The message is clear: Iraq is confidently stepping into a new chapter, one that holds the promise of growth, opportunity, and a stronger role in the global economy.